everyone, I'm Mary Grace Che and I'm completed my bachelor's degree in elementary educations and obtained also my PRC license. But now I'm currently helping my husband with our small business, which is a Korean restaurant. When I was in the Philippines, I worked as an ESL teacher to Korean students. Little did I know that experience would spark my interest to Koreans and their culture as well. Then, working closely related to Korean students gave me first-hand insight to their language, traditions, and also to their everyday life. And then, when I met my husband, that was the time that I truly invested to learn their language, culture, and their traditions. Then, I decided to enroll in UP Diliman to their short language courses, which is Koreano 11. And then, there I started to learn the basic Korean language thanks to Professor Kyungmin Bie. It helps me a lot. When I was in the Philippines, I worked as an ESL teacher to Korean students. Little did I know that experience would spark my interest to Koreans and their culture as well. Then, working closely related to Korean students gave me first-hand insight to their language, traditions, and also to their everyday life. And then, when I met my husband, that was the time that I truly invested to learn their language, culture, and their traditions. Then, I decided to enroll in UP Diliman to their short language courses, which is Koreano 11. And then, there I started to learn the basic Korean language thanks to Professor Kyungmin Bie. It helps me a lot. My journey began when one of my Korean students' mother introduced my husband to me. He was their family friend. Our connection was instant, but at that time I didn't take him seriously because I was too busy with my ranking in public school because I want to teach there. But he was so persistent. After a week, he went to Philippines so that he can meet me. Then, after that, he always took time to call me every night. After a couple of months, he went to Cebu with his uncles to do pamamanhikan and asked my parents for my hand in marriage. Then, after that, after a month, I think, after 1 month, his parents went to Manila so that they can attend to our wedding. Then, I moved to Korea. The initial excitement for starting a new life to a new country was tempered by challenges for adopting a different culture. Then I think the language barrier was the most significant hurdle. Despite of my efforts in learning Koreans in our everyday conversations, it's really a quite challenging one. But looking back, as a marriage migrant here in Korea, I think my journey has been a growth of resilience and patience. And this experience has taught me that love has no boundaries. With an open arm and heart, you can face any challenges. Process of obtaining citizenship involves several steps. So, the first place that I turned to was the official website of Korean Immigration Service and the Ministry of Justice. Because on this site, They provided detailed informations about the requirements, necessary documents, and the overall process for the applying for citizenship. Next, I joined also to some local support groups such as Expat Korea and Pinoy Mamis Nooks. It's a kind of support group for foreign spouses here in Korea. So this group were a treasure of trove of informations because as many members had either gone through the process of application for Korean citizenship. Their shared experience also helped me to clarify the many aspects of applications process. Then here also in Korea, the government provide us a center that called Damonwa Kajok Chiwon Center. It's a kind of center who support multicultural families, and also they offer some programs and Korean classes about Korean citizenship. And because of all these support group, I was able to understand and complete the process for applying the Korean citizenship and ultimately achieving a significant milestone in my journey as a marriage migrant in Korea. Applying for a Korean citizenship as a marriage migrant comes with a unique advantage that can provide us an edge to the process. First, being married to a Korean citizen is a significant advantage because through marriage, we had the daily opportunities to immerse ourselves in their traditions and culture. Next is the Korean proficiency because we need to prove to them that we can communicate effectively. Then the third one I think is my passions to continuous learning their culture, traditions, history, politics, laws, customs, and their lifestyles as well. Changing citizenship is a significant decision that involves legal, social, and personal consideration. Actually, it signifies the heartfelt commitment to a new country while retaining and honoring the essence of my original heritage, which is the Philippines. Here in South Korea, we are required to renounce our foreign citizenship in order for us to obtain the Korean citizenship. And also, we need to pledge not to exercise our foreign citizenship while we are here in South Korea. As of now, my citizenship is Korean, but still, I intend to retain and reactivate my Philippine citizenship so that in the future, I hope to obtain my dual citizenship. Changing citizenship is a significant decision. Being a Korean citizen is a significant journey that requires thorough preparation, commitment, and adaptability. So here are some of my advices to those Filipinos who are aspiring to become a Korean citizen. First, you need to familiarize yourself with the legal requirements, including the residency duration, language proficiency, and also the necessary documents in application process. Next is you need to learn their language and engage in daily language practices through Korean classes, application, and also you can have conversation with the native speakers. And also you can have a mock test in YouTube because in YouTube there's a lot of YouTube channel who are discussing the possible questions in the interview, so it might help you. All I can say, you need to study harder and effectively because as what I've said, the interview was pretty difficult. because it's a kind of random questions and you don't know what kind of questions they're going to ask you, and it's all about their history, laws, government system, lifestyle, traditions, and costumes. So you need to study. And next, also, you need to join the Filipino communities because they can provide you a practical advices and emotional support also throughout the citizenship process. And also, engaging with others who have gone through the process can offer you a valuable insights and tips also. Because in Facebook, there's a lot of Filipino communities that can help you. Because, and also, there are some instances, if you have some questions, you can ask there. Those group are really accommodating, and they were going to answer questions based on their experience also. And next is you need to stay patient and persistent because we should understand that the process is long and challenging, but patience and persistence are the key to overcome the obstacles. Actually, based on my experience, it took me 2 years to complete the process. I applied and passed my requirements June 2022, and after a year, they gave me the interview schedule, which is June 2023. And the next day, they informed me that I passed the interview. Then after that, I waited again for almost a year because they gave me a schedule for my oath-taking ceremony on May 2024. So we just need to stay positive and maintain a positive attitude and focus on the long-term benefits and opportunities that Korean citizen can bring to us. And the last one that I can advise is you need to pray fervently. According to Isaiah 60:22, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen.